Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're zeroing in on something quite special for event planners. We're looking at Marrakech, a destination that's, well, incredibly appealing, right? Original, accessible, and just full of
Yeah,
character.
absolutely. It's got that unique vibe. But we're adding another layer today, a really crucial one, sustainability. How do you plan an event there that's impactful and responsible?
Exactly. And we've got some great insights to work with. Information from Unitour Maroc. They seem to be quite focused on best practices for eco-friendly events, specifically in Marrakech.
That's right. They offer some really practical guidance.
So our mission today, to unpack that guidance, pull out the key tips, the practical advice to really help you, if you're planning an event, understand how to do it sustainably in this amazing city.
Okay, so where do we start? If you want a sustainable event in Marrakech, what's the first big piece?
Well, Unitour Maroc really points to the venue. That's the foundation. The location you pick, it sort of sets the stage for everything else, sustainability-wise. Right, okay, so it's not just about finding a pretty riad, although I'm sure there are plenty of those. It's about its green credentials.
Precisely. They stress actively looking for these green locations. And interestingly, it seems Marrakech is already stepping up here. You've got places using solar power, resorts with water-saving programs.
Oh, that's really encouraging. So the infrastructure is starting to support this.
It looks that way. And Unitour Maroc suggests looking beyond just, solar panels. They mention the value of places with actual sustainability certifications,
Yeah.
or at least a clear, demonstrated commitment to cutting their footprint.
So looking for that proof, that deeper commitment, not just a claim.
Exactly. It shows it's more embedded in how they operate.
And I noted Unitour Maroc mentioned they partner with venues like this. That could be a huge time saver for planners, right?
Definitely. Having that curated list would streamline things massively.
Okay.
Okay, so after the venue, another really visible thing at any event is, well, the rubbish, waste.
Yeah, you definitely notice overflowing bins. So how do we tackle that? What does Unitour Maroc suggest?
They have several pretty concrete ideas.
Hmm.
Digital invitations are a big one. Cuts out paper right at the start.
Simple but effective.
And then things like tableware. Pushing for reusable options, or at least compostable ones. Moving away from all that single-use plastic.
Makes sense. And making recycling easy for guests, too.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Having clear recycling stations don't make people guess where things go. Unitour Maroc also touches on using digital tools more broadly in the planning phase itself, less paper overall. And they mention working with vendors who offer sustainable materials, which kind of leads us to the next point.
Local sourcing.
Exactly. This has that great double benefit.
Right. Good for the planet because of less shipping and good for Marrakesh itself.
Precisely. Unitour Maroc highlights this synergy. Lower carbon footprint from transportation.
Ah.
And you're directly supporting local businesses, local artisans, local growers.
And Marrakesh is just brimming with local crafts and amazing produce, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. They emphasize this abundance. You can get fantastic organic local food. Think about the flavors. And handmade decor. Things that really give the event a sense of place, a Marrakech feel.
So instead of generic stuff flown in from halfway across the world,
You use unique, beautiful, sustainable items that tell a story about where you are. Unitour Maroc frames it as not just sustainable, but as a way to celebrate the local culture. It makes the event more authentic.
that's a really nice way to look at it. And again, having connections to those local suppliers must be invaluable.
Huge advantage.
Okay,
Okay, so we've got the venue, waste, local sourcing. What about power? Energy consumption.
good point. Events can be energy hungry.
They can. So Unitour Maroc advises choosing venues that are already kitted out with energy-efficient lighting, efficient equipment, and looking into places using renewable energy. Solar is the obvious one for Marrakech.
Makes total sense. Leverage the local climate.
Right. And even simple things like scheduling parts of the event during daylight hours, it all helps chip away at the energy demand. Again, Unitour Maroc's links to efficient venues would help here.
Okay, let's talk food. Catering. Always a big part of any event budget and experience. How do we make that greener?
This ties back beautifully to local sourcing. The key, according to Unitour Maroc, is working with caterers who really prioritize organic, local, seasonal ingredients.
Seasonal makes such a difference, doesn't it? Fresher, less energy intensive.
Exactly. It's generally better quality and lower impact. Plus, they stress tackling food waste. That means smart menu planning, getting accurate guest counts.
And maybe donating leftovers.
Yes. Donating surplus food to local charities. It's a fantastic way to reduce waste and give back. Their connections with sustainable caterers would be key for this.
It all feels quite interconnected, which is good. Okay, what about getting people to the event? Transportation's carbon footprint can be huge.
It really can. Unitour Maroc definitely flags this. They encourage finding ways for attendees to use eco-friendly options if possible. And for bigger groups, they suggest things like shuttle services using electric or hybrid vehicles.
That's smart. Centralized transport, lower emissions per person, plus easier for guests. And good to know, Unitour Maroc offers support with those kinds of transport solutions.
Yeah. Then there's one final piece, which is maybe less tangible but really important for the long run.
Which is?
Education and awareness. Actually telling your attendees about the sustainable choices you've made.
So bringing them along on the journey.
Exactly. Unitour Maroc points out the lasting impact this can have. Share why you chose certain suppliers or how the recycling system works. Encourage them to participate. It turns the event itself into an educational opportunity.
That's powerful. It's not just doing green things, but explaining the why, inspiring people beyond the event.
Precisely. It adds another layer of value and hopefully encourages more mindful behavior generally.
Okay, this has been incredibly helpful. So let's try and summarize for event planners thinking about Marrakech, which, let's remember, is such an attractive and relatively accessible option. The core advice from Unitour Maroc seems to be really focus on a green venue, tackle waste head-on, embrace local sourcing for environment and culture.
Manage energy use smartly.
Hmm.
Make catering choices consciously seasonal and local. Think about greener transport.
And crucially, communicate your efforts. Bring your attendees into the story.
Absolutely. Marrakech offers this incredible backdrop, this vibrant culture. By weaving in these sustainable practices, you can create something truly memorable and responsible.
A fantastic combination. Well, that brings us to the end of this deep dive into sustainable event planning in Marrakech. Really fascinating stuff. Thank you for sharing all those insights.
My pleasure. It's an important topic.
And a huge thank you to you, our listeners, for joining us today. We hope you found this exploration useful. If you did enjoy it and you found it valuable, we'd be so grateful if you could take a moment to leave us a 5-star rating wherever you get your podcasts. It genuinely helps other people find the show. Until next time.